Guten Yardning. Today we're preparing for our fall potato crop. Our summer potato crop is well on its way. 1 month in, and there are blooms and flowers on every single area where we've planted and every single style of planting. So that's exciting. But we want to make sure that we have a harvest that can last us over the winter. So this year, in addition to our summer crop, we're also going to plant a fall crop. In order to do that, I got some fingerling potatoes, some organic fingerling potatoes from the store. Now these fingerling potatoes already have eyes that are starting to develop, but we want to give a few more days for these eyes to develop further before we put them in the ground. We've laid the potatoes out and divided them in half. We're going to spray half of the potatoes with water. It's been suggested that adding water to the potatoes will cause the eyes to sprout faster. We're going to keep these in a cool, well-lit place for the next few days while the eyes develop. We'll be able to see if spraying water on one half worked better than the other that didn't get water. And when we're ready to put these in the ground, we'll take you along for planting. So it's been just over a week since we brought home our organic fingerling potatoes from the store, and it appears as though most of them are going to be viable. We have a few that didn't really develop much, though we suspect that once they're in the ground, they'll just take a little bit longer. And we have some that have really come to life. Now this is the side, the left side here, that we added a little extra moisture. We didn't really see an excess amount of growth there, so I would say it's negligible at this point. But since they're all viable, we're going to make this a part of our fall succession crop. So where we had our carrots before in the white containers, the raised containers, we're going to plant some of these. Again, to maximize the harvest potential in a small space. Approximately 60 days ago, we started our carrots from seeds just like this, and now they're ready to be harvested. In just 60 days, our carrots developed quite nicely, and actually, a few of them are going to seed. So we've already harvested the first bit, and we're going to harvest the rest as a part of our succession planting. We're going to prepare this ground for our next crop. All right, let's do it. That is a nice harvest. All right, we're finished with our first raised bed, and now we're going to move on to the second container. One of the advantages of planting in a raised bed type of setup is that you can actually tailor the soil to fit your needs. In our case, we have a looser soil, so we're guaranteed that our carrots are going to be more uniform and certainly easier to harvest. Our least uniform carrot. It's like like a man walking down the street. All right. And that's the second bed. We've harvested the carrots from both of the containers now. And one of the keys to an abundant harvest in a small space is succession planting. For us, that entails going through and doing a soil test and adding the amendments necessary for the next crop that we're going to plant here. As much as possible with anything we harvest here, we try to limit the waste. So these carrots are coming in with us, and the greens are going to be given to our worms in our vermiculture compost setup. We've taken about 2 cups of soil from the carrot bed, and we're going to actually do a soil test at this time because we know that the potatoes we're going to put in there are heavy feeders. So we're going to run a rapid test soil test and see what our pH and our NPK are so that we can amend appropriately. Well, we finished our soil tests and it's the next day. We took some time to amend the soil. The pH was between 5 and 5.5, which we've read is a good pH for potatoes. Our NPK levels were satisfactory, but we still bolstered the soil with some general organic fertilizer and some micronutrients. This bed now contains native soil, peat moss, vermiculite, and the various fertilizers, and some sand. We've laid out our potatoes in each of these containers, and we're going to plant 5 per. We're going to have them between 5 and 7 inches deep so that as they develop, they're not exposed to the sun, which could cause them to turn green. Taking care to give them as much spacing as possible. And since we've amended the soil, we do not need to add any fertilizer down into the hole. Now, since this is a white container, and we noticed this with the carrots, there's still the tendency for the potatoes to potentially turn green up against the side. So as they develop, we're going to put a black screen or black covering around the container. And to finish this off, because we're not going to water too much, and they don't have the roots developed yet, we're going to add hay on top. This will help the soil retain its moisture. You could also use a light mulch. And this hay we got from a farmer who does not use any pesticides. And there you go. One bed finished, and the other still to come. And that's the process. We're going to water this in and monitor the progress. So again, these were organic, store-bought potatoes. We allowed them to sit for a few days, and most of them developed viable eyes. There's still time for you to join us on this journey as well and grow your own fall potato crop. We hope you enjoyed our video. If you did, leave us a like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, when you're with us, you're good to grow.